Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Arrow Season 7. And this is going to be my review for episode 12 for this season, otherwise entitled Emerald Archer. But of course, spoiler alert, if you have not watched the episode, go watch it because some big stuff happens in this episode for the most part, so go watch it. But if you are continuing on, you've watched the episode, be sure to let me know in the comments section down below what was your favourite part of this episode. I'm sure there was it's going to be a tough one for people to pick, but let me know in the comments section down below what your favourite part was and just your general opinions. And of course, if you enjoyed the episode and you enjoyed my video, be sure to show your support by leaving a like on the video. So last episode on Arrow was really about Oliver diving into his past sins as well as Laurel, and that was the title of the episode, Past Sins. So, it sort of carries on, but not really. Just that stuff happened. But this episode is its own thing. And sort of something happens in this episode which proves that it's sort of hard to continue on what happened last episode, time-wise, but we'll talk about that at the end of the video. But first off, I didn't mention it yet, but a lot of you guys already know this. This was the 150th episode for Arrow. That's why this episode was a bit different and a bit special. So obviously, congratulations to everyone involved with Arrow for getting to 150. We know we're getting season 8, so we're going to get to around 180 odd next season. So let's hope they can get to season 9 and get to 200. But let's celebrate the moment right now with the 150th episode, which was a pretty special and pretty cool episode. Now this episode started off completely different. We had the Warner Brothers logo and all that, and wasn't expecting that. I was like, wait, what's up? I thought I was watching a movie. I thought The Dark Knight was about to come on or something. But obviously this episode was documentary style, so what we were seeing there was sort of the beginning of the documentary. The documentary is called Emerald Archer, and I think it's the rise of the Hood and vigilantism in Star City, something like that. It's something along those lines, but the main title is Emerald Archer, of course, which is also the title of this episode. But we see interviews with returning characters like Quentin. Cool, Quentin Lance coming back, awesome, that was new stuff. Thea, Sin, Diaz was in there, and also Sarah Lance is in there as well, and they all have little parts, and their discussion of what they're, a various discussion on certain things. But the main thing that sort of was discussed was the pros of having vigilantes in Star City and what they're doing, but how they're taking justice into their own hands and dealing with things that the cops wouldn't even deal with. But also, I think it's Sin mainly that brings this up. It's the cons of it, the toll it has on people, on those vigilantes in particular, and she's witnessed it herself. And even obviously the whole fact that Quentin's dead, I think Sarah also references the loss that comes with it. As well. Now we had a returning character this episode from earlier this season and previous seasons, that being William. William's back and he's angsty. He's very angsty, and he was not happy about being left alone at Christmas and not brought back home, and he really wanted that stuff taken off his tablet. But we do find out later in the episode that William was actually expelled from his school because Felicity went on, couldn't find any grade and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how that progresses in the next couple of episodes. It's pretty much all there is to say, to be completely honest. I mean, there was some stuff with William and Zoe sort of progressing that stuff in the future. But I think we've only seen them hanging out once or twice in the past. So they're acting like good friends, but we hadn't seen it before. But they hung out and did some geography, I guess. But we see the beginning of the big bad for this episode when Renee is shot and Emiko is actually taken, which also leads to Oliver and Diggle having a conversation where Diggle actually finds out about Emiko being Oliver's sister, not only finding out that the Green Arrow is a female, that female is Emiko, and that Emiko is Oliver's sister. He finds out all this, and we also find out that there's been a 1 month time jump roughly, because Oliver said that he's known about Emiko being his sister for about a month, which is basically end of 2 episodes ago and a lot of last episodes. So there's been about maybe 3 weeks if we're going to give it, the benefit of the doubt. But there's been a bit of a time jump since last episode to this episode. But we do have the vigilante hunter for this episode, otherwise known as Chimera, and in his a lair, if you want to call it. He had masks of Ragman, Huntress, which we didn't get to see in this episode, which is a bit disappointing, apart from some documentary footage. Would have been cool to have her in the episode, but we didn't. Then also Wild Dog's mask and Emiko's Green Arrow mask. So, photos and stuff of most likely people he's hunting, or there could be his own little flash museum of vigilante masks. Who knows? But speaking of Ragman, we do get an interview with him. It was really short, and I thought we might have got more of him, but something's better than nothing, so he's still got a bit of a Rory Regan Ragman interview, so for those wanting Ragman back, there you go. But we also get Barry Allen being interviewed, and that was one of the bright spots of the or one of the brighter spots, because this episode was very good, but one of the brighter spots of the episode when Ack is done, like, oh yeah, I didn't know Oliver was Green Arrow until the news came out. It was shocking, it was surprising. You think you know someone, so I thought that was pretty funny. But we do get like a throwback to episode 1 of season 1 when we go to Adam Hunt's building. It's all like torn down, like worn down, at least not torn down, but like worn down and stuff like that. And this was like one of the cool aspects of the documentary footage, because this fight scene essentially between Oliver and Chimera, and I guess Diggle as well is involved there, was like almost like a found footage horror movie. Obviously there wasn't like a demon running around going, "Arr!" ripping people's heads off. But it was almost like a found footage film in the sense of like the movement, and even like I think the guy that was filming the documentary goes like, "What the hell is that?" and like zooms in on Chimera in the background, almost like what would happen in a found footage horror movie. They'd zoom in on the monster or some sort of weird thing going on, or some person like all covered in blood. So I thought that was actually pretty cool. But speaking of Chimera, he's not an ancient beast, but he attacks the town hall discussion where the mayor and Oliver are just talking about vigilantes and I guess the pros and cons of their effect on Star City, and he attacks, and it's pretty cool because we get like a Team Arrow reuniting sort of thing. So basically, I guess the season 5 and 6 team coming in and reuniting and kicking some ass and taking Chimera down and arresting him. So it was nice to see them come back, but I guess it's not good because Dinah sort of exposes herself to the mayor. She has to like use a canary cry to stop something from falling on both of them. So the mayor now knows that she's got metahuman powers and that she is, well, the Black Canary from last season at least. But the interesting thing is that following this fight with Chimera when they take him down, the vigilantes are actually just straight up arrested, which I guess makes sense. That anti-vigilante law is still in effect, so they do get arrested. And the whole Chimera identity reveal was interesting. His name was like, I think, Kevin Smeltzer, which I'm 99.765150. We'll go 150 at the end because 150th episode. But whatever that percentage was, I'm pretty sure I'm sure of that. I'm that percentage sure that the name Kevin Smeltzer is an amalgamation or just a combination of Kevin Smith and Brad Meltzer, who are both Green Arrow writers from the 90s, early 2000s. So I'm pretty sure that's what's going on there. You know, Kevin Smith wrote some Green Arrow stuff. Brad Meltzer wrote a lot of Green Arrow stuff. So I'm pretty sure Kevin Smeltzer is the Kevin of Kevin Smith mixed with just the Meltzer from Brad Meltzer. So I'm pretty sure I'm right with that. There was also like a Nutter and Winter. It was like the corner of Nutter and Winter reference, which is David Nutter, who directed the pilot, and then Glenn Winter, who's directed a lot of episodes as well. So there was another little Easter egg there. But of course, all the vigilantes were arrested, but then they're just all deputized like Oliver Queen was. So they're all under, SCPD, not control, but clearance, if you want to say. So I guess we're going to see a lot more vigilante work going to the back half. Was Emiko deputized, or is she still like out there? I guess they have to expose her identity to do that. So I don't know, I have to wait and see, I guess. But one of the cool things in this episode that I wasn't expecting, but I guess it has to connect to some stuff they were doing in the future, but anyway, was that we go back to the quiver, and I thought they were just going to show the documentary crew what it sort of looked like before it got destroyed, but Oliver's going to rebuild it, which then shows us flash forwarding to the future with Black Star, aka Maya, whatever her name was, or Mia, who knows what it could be. I guess we'll find out eventually. And she's watching the documentary. You find out the documentary was actually banned, and that she got basically a dodgy copy of it and was watching it. But who's with her? It's Connor Hawke. So I posted a tweet back because I think C. Shimuka, who plays Emiko, posted an Instagram post of her, Colton Haynes, who plays Roy, Catherine McNamara, who plays Black Star, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I feel really bad. But the guy that plays Connor Hawke, or John Diggle Jr. on Instagram. And I was like, well, it's random for him to be there. And it's because he's back for Arrow. So we're going to see him, I don't know for how many flash forward episodes. It might just be 1 or 2, but he's going to play a part in them in some point. But we actually see them go to the quiver in the future. It's very tropical, I guess you could say, or monsoonal. It's water dripping down, a lot of vegetation growing. But essentially, Black Star says Star City, the vigilantes were the death of this city, and they got exactly what came to them. So I wonder what that means. Does that mean they were executed or something like? Because we know like Dinah, Renee, and all of them are still there. So I know it's got like Curtis wasn't mentioned in the future, so maybe Curtis is a vigilante that dies. Maybe the fact that they were deputized is a big thing because they're working for SCPD. They're going to be out there again, so maybe there's going to be easy pickings, and it's going to be one of those storylines where them getting back into that was just a massive mistake and it led to just negativity and just bad stuff happening. So it's intriguing. I know some people have issues with the flash forwards. I really enjoy them just because it keeps you second guessing, I guess, what's going to happen with certain characters, especially if they like allude to maybe something bad happening in the future without actually confirming it. But this gets me excited and I can't wait to see what they do. And it's really cool to have Connor Hawke back on the show. Interesting, they're calling him Connor. Does that mean Diggle dies and the same thing happens that we saw in the Legends future? This is different from the Legends future for those that are wondering. Just need to tell you that. But maybe Connor's just a cover name, I guess. Maybe just like how Black Star is for Maya. I know, I have to wait and see, but interesting. But overall, I really enjoyed this episode. I sort of wish there was more documentary. I wouldn't have minded if the whole episode was documentary style, to be completely honest. I would not have complained at all. But I understand like certain parts don't work. Like how would they make the documentary stuff work for the future? Well, actually, they could have done the whole episode documentary and then that last scene is that, like, they could have played it that Maya or Black Star was just watching the documentary. So we were technically seeing everything play out through her eyes. They could have done that. But I guess some other certain parts just wouldn't have worked, like cutting to Felicity in certain parts, and I can and like with William, like that conversation between Felicity and William with the documentary crew cover that, so I can understand certain parts not working. But I wish parts that would have worked with the documentary stuff would have all been documentary. I think that would have been better, but I can't really have too much. That's like my only complaint, really. It's a little complaint. People might complain about William and stuff, but they're obviously setting up for something. And I think the fact that he was expelled sort of covers up some stuff that happened earlier on the episode. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was a really fitting 150th episode. If anything, it's probably the best milestone episode I think we've had out of any of the shows. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on the video, show support. Let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions. Did you like this episode? Did you hate it? Did you love it? Did you dislike it? Just let me know all of that in the comments section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.